York City, 50 years from today. Nothing runs, nothing works.
They gave me a quarter of a kilo.
But people are the same, and people will do anything to get what they need. What they need most is Soylent Green. Simonson, board of directors of the Soylent Corporation, murdered because he discovered the secret of Soylent Green. Detective Thorne, he's got to find out what Simonson knew. Saul Roth, Thorne's researcher.
Courtesy of your next assignment, William R. Simonson, Chelsea Towers West. How'd you get all these?
Cheryl, the furniture.
Is that Simonson? Is that a yes nod or a no nod?
Yes.
Hatcher, police captain.
Simonson. Supposed to look like he was killed when he caught some punk burglarizing his apartment. What do you say? It was an assassination.
Tab Fielding, bodyguard.
Why would you leave that door open? Why did you set up Simonson?
Charlton Heston, Edward G. Robinson, Lee Taylor Young, Chuck Connors. Fight for survival and solve the most bizarre riddle ever to face mankind.
This is the police. I'm asking you to disperse. The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted.
Why does Soylent Green mean life?
You must disperse. The scoops are off your way.
Why does Soylent Green mean death?
Substance that replaces food, giving you all the calories and nutrients you need. What in the world is this all about? Jonathan Series live in Atlanta. Jonathan, what is it about? Good morning. Hi, Bill. It's called Soylent, and it was created by Rob Reinhardt, a Georgia Tech graduate who ultimately sees his product as a solution for world hunger. Because his product ships as a powder, it's easy to transport and can go for a long time before it starts spoiling. Reinhardt says because half of the world's food ends up going to waste, hunger on a global level is not really about lack of resources. Listen. Once we really turn this into an engineering and logistics problem, we can solve those. And we can, I really think that we can get the costs lower and lower and to the point where no one would really have to worry about their supply for food, which would be a massive benefit to humanity. Now, to develop his product, Reinhardt went to an online crowdfunding site. His goal was to raise $100,000. Instead, within a month, he raised $800,000. So, Bill, obviously a lot of people out there share his dream.
Is there a market for this in the U.S.? I mean, what have you found out?
Yeah, Rob Reinhardt certainly thinks so. In fact, while we were producing this story, the Fox News team here in Atlanta actually tried Soylent. It tastes like a mildly sweet soy milk. Reinhardt likes to add vanilla to give it extra flavor, but foodies out there will point out it's no replacement for the enjoyment of a gourmet meal.
Food is designed to feed the body, yes, but we have a tongue that has taste buds on it. So that means they're there for a reason.
We should definitely enjoy all of the social and cultural aspects for food because it can be really fun. But most of the time, it's really not that memorable. And, most of the time, I can't really be bothered, and I'd just rather be doing something else. Reinhardt sees Soylent as a nutritious alternative to getting lunch from a drive-thru on a busy day, which many of us are guilty of, and an ideal product for single folks who don't have anyone to impress by spending hours in the kitchen. And Bill, looking back on my bachelor days back in the 90s, I lived on a lot of canned tuna and spaghetti. Sounds very steaks. Found it right there in the oven. Cost? How much is this? Yeah, right now the cost is about $2 per serving, and while that sounds very inexpensive to the average American, it's more than a lot of people in developing countries can afford, especially some poor countries where people are making an average of $30 a month. But Reinhardt believes that as he mass produces his product, he can get the price down, way down, to the point that it will be viable for shipment to all parts of the world. Bill?
Hope it tastes good.
There's that. Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan Siri.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. So what is the answer to the question? Well, most of you probably know, but if you're younger, you probably don't. And that is, what is Soylent Green? The answer is, it's people. Yes, people. Now, let me explain why I'm doing a video on Soylent Green, covering all this stuff with cannibalism, all the stuff going on. I feel like it's fitting. A lot of people were commenting yesterday on some of the videos I did about cannibalism and how it's becoming mainstream, mentioning Soylent Green. So I figure, why not, if you've never seen it or heard about it, discuss Soylent Green and the predictive programming that is the film. Now, the trailer is obviously old, and those trailers are a little bit less, what's the word I should use, descriptive of what the real plot or the meaning of the film is, but it is predictive programming at its best. The year is 2020, and we're approaching 2020. Global warming is at its finest. People are dying off by starvation, and the government is feeding them what is known as Soylent Green. As global warming's in full swing, even the rich people are forced to eat the crummy food they claim. The government hands out rations of Soylent products, which are flavorless cubes and loaves of soy, which is actually plankton, they claim. Plankton from the ocean, but it's really people. People eating people. And we see that going on now. Now listen to some of this predictive programming and the plot for Soylent Green. The 20th century's industrialization has led to overcrowding, pollution, and global warming. Now remember, this is from a 1966 novel, okay, entitled Make Room, which is about, that's what this movie Soylent Green is based off of, which came out in 1973. It is now 2018. And listen to how much of this stuff is actually running rampant around us. This wasn't a big deal in the 90s. Wasn't a big thing in the 80s. You're seeing this going on now, the nonstop obsession with global warming. So, pollution, overcrowding, global warming due to the greenhouse effect. In 2022, 40 million people live in New York City. Housing is dilapidated. Homeless people fill the streets. Many are unemployed. Those few with jobs are only barely scraping by, and food and working technology are scarce, with most of the population surviving on rations produced by the Soylent Corporation. Their latest product is Soylent Green, a green wafer advertised to contain high-energy plankton from the world ocean, more notorious and palatable than its predecessors, red and yellow, but it is in short supply. The New York City Police Department, Detective Frank Thorne lives with his aged friend and police analyst Solomon Saul Roth. Roth remembers life before its current state and often waxes nostalgic. He is well educated and has a small library of reference materials to assist Thorne. While investigating the murder of a member of a wealthy elite family, Thorne questions a woman, a bodyguard who was escorting the guy who was killed, blah, blah, blah. Thorne gives Roth the classified Soylent oceanograph survey report he found in the apartment of the dead guy. Roth's research reveals that he was a member of the board of Soylent. Thorne tells his lieutenant, Hatcher, that he suspects an assassination. Nothing had been stolen from the apartment. Security was absent, and the perpetrator used a meat hook instead of a gun to make it look like he was killed in a burglary. Thorne, suspecting Fielding as one of the murderers, visits the guy's apartment and interrogates this woman, helping himself to a teaspoon of strawberry jam, later identified by Roth as too great a luxury for the bodyguard to afford. The woman reveals, and the man revealed, that the person became troubled in the days before his death. He questions the Catholic priest who visited. The priest fails to remember And then they described that he found out that this guy, who's elitist, found out that what was really in his product wasn't plankton, it was people. And you could see that they do what is this Soylent Green type, almost like Jack Kevorkian type suicide, where these people will go, have themselves exterminated, right? They'll play some music. I guess they take some type of sleeping pill where they die in 20 minutes. The body is then decomposed and put inside of these wafers. So the people are living off of one another, off of eating each other. Remember how I talked about that story the other day with Hawking? Now you're saying, oh, we would solve starvation. This is what the global elites have in mind. And they're already doing it. And that's 100% true. So many people have messaged me since then saying, well, they're already doing it. Well, I'm aware they're already doing it. I'm aware that they put stuff in our food. I mean, I talk about it night and day. They've been Soylent Greening us and putting human parts in food. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt when you go to a fast food chain that you're getting some type of human burger, at least a part of a human in that burger. It sounds sick to say, but who do you think regulates this stuff? They do. They want us all to live like them. How do you think these diseases and stuff continue to rise? Okay? It is known that kuru and all these things lead to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, and it's all from eating and, and taking in human flesh, human brains, and all this disgusting stuff that these people do and they believe in. It's cannibalism. It's cannibalistic society. So, as the story goes on, the guy goes to take his assisted suicide. He rushes to stop him, Charlton Heston's character. He's mesmerized by the process, the visual and musical montage. They show forests, wild animals, rivers, all this stuff. Before dying, he tells Thorne his discovery and begs him to expose the truth. So the guy pretty much, was ready to end his life. He found out that people were eating people and all this. And then Heston's character goes to the factory. He finds out that all they're putting in these wafers is the remains of human bodies. Right? And the movie ends where he talks about all of this stuff and how, global warming, all this stuff's a farce, pretty much how they created all of this stuff for this. And that's what we're seeing going on, because global warming is a farce. Right? And we know they're chemtrailing, we know they do all this ridiculous crap to us day and night. But look in 2020, where we're 2018, right? I think it's at 2020 or 2022 maybe, where this film is supposed to take place. How close are we to Agenda 2030? I mean, really. We're getting closer by the second. They are depopulating the world as it is with disease and disease and disease, spreading of the diseases. And Soylent Green becomes reality. Because remember, all of these films are predictive programming. If you haven't seen the film, check it out. I mean, it's not a great film, but it's just more predictive programming. This stuff has been shown to us. It's been beaten into our heads. It's not just now. I know there's people who are older who listen to this channel and say, it is way worse now. But it's been going on. Soylent Green is talking about, 1973. Predictive programming has been going on since they started making movies. Okay? Where do you think these ideas for these alien movies started from? They started from the, Project Bluebeam agenda and the mindset of trying to create the illusion that there was space aliens and all these people out there because they thought that it was the only way that they were going to get people to unite as one for a one world government, a one world order. Even Ronald Reagan himself said that, right? Perhaps the only way we would ever become a new world order, a one world, where everybody gets along as if we were attacked by an outside force. And that's why that predictive programming has been going on forever. This stupid alien crap that people get obsessed with. So, Soylent Green is people, folks. And this is the plan. But this is already going on. It's not going to have to be, well, you go to the grocery store and you're going to buy, a human liver and eat it for dinner. They're already putting this stuff in our food, making us all sick. And people say, well, the only way to go is to go vegan, grow your own food and all that stuff. Well, it's easier said than done for a lot of people out there. A lot of people out working all day, all night just to, pay rent. I mean, we are enslaved, folks. And, people go, well, that's not true. We're not. You don't understand. Your mind is living in something that doesn't exist. Because this whole matrix is false. It's a mirage. This daily 9 to 5, it's all part of the mirage. We are enslaved to them. You just don't realize you're roaming free without shackles on your legs. But you're being monitored fully around the clock. You're being dumped, you might as well be in a mental institution, taking pills 24/7, making yourself tired and sick and depressed. That's what they're doing us with the food, with the chemtrailing, with the messages that they keep sending us, the fear, fear, fear. So it's all going on right now. Soylent Green, folks, is people. I thought I'd make you aware. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.